my God, you were lugging that thing around?
Yeah, but look what I got.
Oh my God. What the hell? Holy shit!
Water looks good, man. Nice day.
I'm at the Manasquan Inlet in Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey, getting ready to jump in. If you know this area, I'm at the exact spot where Ocean Avenue meets the inlet. Usually this area isn't great for diving because it's a prime fishing spot adjacent to the parking area, but today it's just me, this crab, and a few other crazy divers in the water. I don't expect to see a lot of life, but I do know that I will encounter a lot of fishing line. I'm usually out looking for interesting marine life on my dives, but during the winter there's not much to see, so I decided to focus my dives on cleaning up as much garbage and fishing line as I can. Divers in this area always encounter things that don't belong, but we're generally not equipped to retrieve it and bring it to the surface. I modified this standard 5-gallon bucket to allow me to quickly deposit anything I see without having to spend too much time. Anything with a hook will snag a standard collection bag, and the bucket is puncture-proof, so it won't allow fishing hooks to pierce it. I'm going to continue moving east towards the ocean, but I keep getting distracted by these small fragments of line. This one's connected to a nice looking lure, but I'm not sure what kind of fish you would use this for. Look at this pink straw. This is the reason we have a straw ban in New Jersey, to protect wildlife. And in reality, I've actually never encountered a drinking straw in our waterways. In fact, this straw is not even a straw. It's a pink chopstick, but it would still take hundreds of years to degrade it if it remains. The water temperature today is 45 degrees Fahrenheit, 7 degrees Celsius, and no matter what kind of gloves we wear, our hands still get cold. It's usually okay for the first 30 minutes, and by 1 hour, it's starting to get uncomfortable. I'm also trying to be careful when pushing things into the bucket so I don't get poked. Now, I'm well into the rock jetty portion of the inlet, east of the bulkhead wall. I really don't want to disturb anything, but I want to get the line out without it snapping, so I do have to move some things away. My preference for cutting line is a good pair of EMT shears, which cuts through almost anything. In addition, I also carry a small knife and a specialized line cutter that I keep on my wrist so it's easily accessible. There are plenty of stories of divers, sometimes even in very shallow water, getting tangled in fishing line and drowning, and I'm definitely trying not to put myself on that list. This is an instance of a small single strand leading to a large bundle of line. This one needs a little extra force, so I'm bracing my knees against the rocks to give me a little extra leverage so I can get out the entire bunch. I've seen this board here all summer and I'm excited to clean it up. I can't imagine how it got here, but it's deeply wedged into the rocks. I don't want to shred it up in little pieces, and I would prefer to remove it in one clump, but my tank valve's already getting snagged, so I'm going to have to section it out one little bit at a time. Visibility today is better than average with about 7 to 10 feet, as long as I don't stir up the bottom too much. A great day here in the inlet would be about 20 feet plus, and a bad day could be as low as 0. If it's that low, I try to stay away, but anything more than 3 to 5 feet is definitely diveable. It's the first time but not the last time that I'm going to get a hook stuck in my hand. Fortunately, it rarely makes it through the 5mm thick neoprene, but it does shred the gloves up over time. So far these Cressy gloves are holding up pretty good, but between the fishing hooks and pulling on line, they won't hold up more than a few months. Now that I have a big chunk removed, I'm going to start at the end and just move along the length of it, bundling it all up, trying to find a good balance of removing seaweed, but also not wasting a lot of time removing it either. Getting rid of all this line benefits divers by reducing the entanglement hazard, and it also benefits fishermen by reducing more line traps. Of course, the sea life benefits the most. Right now, at the time of this video, there are no fish and no fishermen. It'll be interesting to see how long it takes for hooks and line to build up again when the fishermen return in the spring. I'll revisit this exact spot, and I'll be sure to provide an update in a future video. I'm estimating that by the summer, it'll look exactly the same unless someone else decides to clean it up. I've seen and rescued fish, one shark, and a lot of crabs from fishing line, but this is the first starfish. I don't think the starfish has any awareness that it was stuck on a hook, but I still need to free it up. Don't worry, I'm not putting it into the bucket. I just want to secure all the line, and then we can tend to the star. In the summer, there could easily be a few dozen people fishing here at any given time. If you do this type of fishing, how often do you lose tackle? I've tried shore fishing myself a few times, but I've only lost my bait, never caught any fish, and never fished long enough to lose any gear. After the dive is over and I warm up, we will sort through this bundle of garbage. Trash will be properly disposed of, but any usable lures or sinkers will be cleaned, sorted, and sold to benefit the Point Pleasant First Aid Dive Rescue Team. Every year, the annual fishing flea market is held in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, which is coming up on Sunday, February 23rd. I'll put a link down in the description. If you lose a lot of sinkers, you could certainly restock for the upcoming season at some great prices, and it all goes to a good cause. My hand and computer are getting tangled up in line, so it's good to have the EMT shears handy to cut it free. At about 60 minutes into this dive, and my air is getting below 1,000 psi, so I start to think about my exit. I'm only 20 feet underwater, but because this is an active inlet, I need to surface as close to the rocks as possible. Even though the water's freezing, I'm still feeling warm with only my hands starting to get a little numb. The line is tangled up again, and this time it's snagged on my cutters. I'm going to use my wrist-mounted line cutter and it's a good extra handy tool to have within reach to free line like this. It's my final push to the exit, and I saw this clump against the bulkhead wall. My air is right at 500 psi, but I want to get this last little bit before I get out. I think this fish is mad at me because I disturbed its hiding place. It's unfortunate, but it's beneficial to remove this bundle of garbage. I only saw 2 fish on this entire dive, and this was one of them. I think it may be a juvenile tog, but I'm not sure. If you know, please post in the comments, or if you think it's something different, let me know. Before I drag this 40-pound bucket up the slippery rocks, I'm going to check to see if anyone's around who may be able to help me. Since I was down for 75 minutes, there's a pretty good chance that someone is already on the surface and able to help me lift it up. Well, it looks like nobody's here, but the water's pretty calm, so I should be able to move it up the rocks a little bit at a time without too much difficulty. This was a good sight. Marty is here and already out of the water and ready to help. Overall, a great dive and a lot of crap removed from the water.
Oh my God, you were lugging that thing around? Yeah, but look what I got.
Oh my God. What the hell? Holy shit! He's gonna be here all night.
This was
No,
a
you
Flea-
better start cutting.